Yeah, no, but I mean, start the episode when I see your live stream.
Alright.
Alright, I can see your live stream.
Alright.
The mute that so we don't need an echo.
There we go. But we are here with Neo Extreme.
Indeed you are.
You know, the owner, general manager of the greatest wrestling company on the planet.
On God's green earth. NCW is the
NCW.
most amazing thing to hit YouTube since sliced bread.
And we're not talking about Brian Kendrick either.
Ah.
Oh, but yes, we are live streaming episode 10, and I know episode 9 is not up yet, but it will be shortly. And but we
have
are
a lot more important things to talk about, since, you know, there are going to be two interesting factors that NXW will be providing to Chaos Mania 2.
yes, there
One
is.
of which 4 stars will be competing in the second annual All-Stars Battle... No, not All-Stars, but the second annual Chaos Mania Battle Royale. Winner will get an opportunity at the NCW Undisputed Championship at NCW Revenge. So that means 4 stars out of NXW, out of Developmental, could have an opportunity to compete for that world title.
And one of those 4 stars is in our main event, is in our first match right here. Bobby Jones.
Apparently Bobby Jones has not learned his lesson with Dave Rogers after Dave Rogers humiliated him not once but twice when it came to that internet championship.
And yes,
So it looks like he wants a bidding for a 3rd time. But will it finally be the charm where Bobby Jones can beat the one-man wrecking crew Dave Rogers?
and then we have a 2-on-2 tag team match between the Youthful Assassins, the current tag team champions, versus the Evolution of Pains, Daniel Alexander and Jackson Pearson.
The Evolution of Pain, a new team on the block, and they are going after the biggest dogs in the pack. They're going after the new NXW Tag Team Champions, not to mention Dwayne Young has an opportunity for that NXW Championship somewhere down the line. I believe it's tonight, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So maybe Zach Miller, Keith Davis looking to build momentum towards that
yes, and then
NXW Championship match.
we have the King's Challenge. And if you remember what happened the last time these two men went up against each other, King Ryan won, but got kicked in the, you know, the Royal Jewels
So
by Victor Wolf.
Not to mention King Ryan did win that Hell in a Cell Fatal 4-Way at Warzone.
Yes, he did.
So he's got a lot of momentum on his side. A couple of victories in the King's Challenge. The first match at at Warzone with a victory. But can he continue the success of the King's Challenge tonight against another Skull Collector?
And then we have one member of the Evolution of Pain, Kendrick Robinson, going up against Brandon Blackwell.
Brandon Blackwell, he has a huge opportunity at Chaos Mania,
Yes, he does.
where he will be one of the 3 men challenging for the NXW Championship alongside Dave Rogers. But the question is, who will be the champion going into that match? We'll find out in our main event, but you know, Brendan Blackwell needs to build momentum going into that world title match on the biggest stage of them all.
Yes, he does. And then we have a one-on-one match between James Falcon and Sosa Kennedy. But Sosa said he knows that the Darkbirds are going to be in James's corner, so why not have his best friend and his best friend's son in his corner? So who knows, it could hell break down in our 5th match of the night.
They say that blood is stronger than feathers, and no doubt that's going to be the case for Sosa Kennedy, Moses Almighty, and RJ the Third. But he is going up against a former, the first ever NXW champion, and you know James Falcon is sick and tired of losing. That is why he has Robbins and Phoenix by his side tonight.
Yes, and then our sixth match, we have Tyler Wilson versus Brandon Ace.
Hold on, I need a picture to come up for that one.
And Brandon Ace is a physical specimen and a real piece of work. And a very talented superstar that we have seen. Came close to taking the NXW Internet Championship from Dave Rogers, but was close but no cigar.
But you can't overlook Tyler Wilson's pure brutality. That man is built like a truck, and he's going to hit you like one. So, it is going to be power versus speed, but the question is, what will Chris Cash bring to the match on the outside? That is the question that will be seen in the semi-finals. Oh, not the semi-finals, the semi-main event.
Yes, and in the main event, it is a Falls Count Anywheres match between Dwayne Young, the NXW briefcase holder, and Bruce Kendrick, the NXW champion. This is going to be a great match.
Both men, they picked up victories at NXW Warzone. Dwayne Young lightning struck when he somehow managed to climb that ladder and secure that briefcase, earning him this opportunity. Bruce Kendrick, on the other hand, he got rid of James Falcon. A new challenger appears. Will it be the end of the era of Bruce Kendrick, or will it be the beginning of Dwayne Young? Actually, I just doubled down on that. But either way, one of these two men will be going to Chaos Mania to defend that title. Who will it be? Will it be Weapon X, or will it be Dwayne Young? We'll find out in our main event.
Yeah, but first, we got to get to see what the punching bag is going to get. If it is going to be a punching bag, or will the punching bag punch back? But
well,
now,
obviously he's going to punch back, but is he going to punch back enough for a victory? Finally, over the man who's been traumatizing him.
Yes, but it looks like Bobby Jones has company in his so-called brother, Jordan Jones.
Company can always come back to bite. Yeah, could get him disqualified.
Yes, it could. But since we're here and I said that there is chaos talk, or the chaos conversation, let's have the chaos conversation of what's going on in NCW.
In NCW. Well, obviously, first and foremost, we got the Undisputed Championship being defended at Chaos Mania alongside other championships, but let's go over the Undisputed Championship. We've got the All-Stars 2018 champion, DJ Young, challenging the three-time world champion and current NCW Undisputed Champion, King Gutter, in the main event in a Falls Count Anywhere match. It is going to be one hell of a match, because you think about it, in DJ Young's first match, he was tag team partners with King Gutter. So what do you think on that one?
Well, not to be biased or anything, but it seems like it has been a year in the making, and you know, Gutter did bring me into NCW, and you know, I've made a name for myself, and now I think it's time for me to claim what I think I deserve.
Well, you have put in a fair amount of effort coming into this season. I mean, you started as the first Cruiserweight champion, turning that light heavyweight championship into what the Cruiserweights are fighting for now. And then you went on to become the first ever NCW Alpha Tag Team Champion.
And if I'm correct, the first dual champion too.
The first point. Well, technically true, yes. I wouldn't say you'd be the first dual male champion.
Yeah.
Because there was women who have done that before you.
Yeah.
But I want to bring up the point where it was you and Seth Goldman versus Gutter and Stacked. Alpha versus Omega, undisputed tag team titles on the line. Gutter got the victory. Or him and Stack got the victory. So he took a bit of history away from you. What was running through your mind when you did not become the first ever undisputed tag team champion?
See, like, the thing was, like, it bothered me, but it didn't bother me as much as I think it probably should have, because I didn't want to be a tag partner with Seth Goldman anymore, and he didn't want to either. And at that moment, I feel like that tag team was done, and it was. So that's why I think it just happened for the best. And yeah, congratulations to Gutter on that. But if you remember, Gutter also got beat by me in a one-on-one match when he was undisputed champion, tag champs.
Well, when he was Omega tag team champion.
Yeah. And you got to think that has to run through his mind too.
That is technically true, but then again, that was not for a championship at that time. So with the gold on the line, the lights on bright, and the main event of Chaos Mania, a place you've never been, but he has. He's got the experience in that main event caliber environment.
Yes, he does. But the thing is, I have the winning experience at Chaos Mania, and he doesn't.
True. You did defeat Lucha Rainbow for that light heavyweight championship at Chaos Mania 1 last year.
Yes, in a very great match.
It was an alright one. I wouldn't say the best, but then again, Lucha Rainbow is a different person, much like Gutter is a different person this year, because he did win that Money for Chaos briefcase match, not to mention he defended it at Revolution in a triple threat match against Evan Edwards and David Cassidy.
That is
Two
true.
men you've never been in a ring with.
That is very true. But I've been in the ring with many great superstars of NCW. Many people that I'm sure will be in the Hall of Fame of NCW someday. Like
if we get to
Lucha,
have one.
I'm sure we will. Lucha Rainbow, Andy Cox, Eddie Knight. Like names like that. Even Corvo Jack, Tony Lee Williams. Yes, Gutter has been in the ring with some big names, but has Gutter honestly
He's
had...
been in a ring with Clark Oliver Morrison, the Golden / Neo Titan.
I mean, I've been in the ring with both of those guys too.
And you lost both of those matches.
So did he.
True.
But that's the thing.
I mean, Gutter's done something that you've never done before. Faced me in a one-on-one match, Neo Extreme, and won.
That is true, but that's also something that he's done and Diz hasn't. Well, Diz has fought you, but not won.
Yeah, but then again, Diz was injured when we did compete at Chaos Mania 1, so...
That is very true.
There is that little...
Yeah.
But anyway, Undisputed Championship on the line. But let's talk about our next prize, the TLC Triple Threat match for the King of the Ring Championship. The two-time champion and King of the Ring winner, Ken Phillips, will be defending against former champ Dylan Nara and the winner of the A Block, Joey Hartman.
Yes, and
That's going to be one hell of a match.
Yes, it will, and I've been in the ring with Joey Hartman, and we saw how that went. That was just quick, fast-paced bloodbath at the end. And I will admit, I kind of want to see what Joey Hartman can do, and I honestly think he has a chance of winning this.
But look how far Dylan Narak has come since he's been given a shot back in NCW Omega. Former Intercontinental Champion, former NCW Undisputed Tag Team Champions, and a former King of the Ring Champion. And you gave that man an opportunity and he ran a mile with it, and I felt that he could do that again at Chaos Mania.
Yes, and he very well could. And he could walkout champ.
Speaking of the champ, speaking of the king, we got to talk about Ken Phillips, where he went from a dark horse in that tournament to being the eventual winner.
Yes, and like Ken Phillips.
Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5. No one looked his way. But when we got around to the final 8 semi-finals, we were starting to take notice of Ken Phillips. And then when he finally beat Sean O'Connor in the finals and become the first ever King of the Ring champion, I mean, it was a moment.
Yes, it was.
So we can't overlook Ken Phillips, because if you overlook him, that is where he will win.
You can't underestimate anyone in NCW. Anyone can surprise you.
Exactly right. I mean, Joey Hartman, he is a 4-time United States champion, where he actually excels in the triple threat environment. I believe he's been in, 3 triple threat matches this year, and he's won 2 of them.
Yes, he has.
Oh, set over there by Bobby Jones.
And see, the thing is, if you remember the last time Joey Hartman underestimated someone, what happened to him? He underestimated the rookie in Raiden Hamilton, and Raiden Hamilton took his number and ran over it.
I don't think that was underestimating. I feel that was just Raiden on that night was the better man.
You mean the 3 nights? Because didn't they fight like 3 times, like 2 for non-title?
Like
yeah.
But in the end, Raiden did become a 2-time U.S. champion, and Joey ended up becoming a 4-time U.S. champ. But then again, Raiden did lose to Corvo Jax off an open challenge.
That is true.
But let us move to our next match. Let us move on to the 6-man tag team championship match. 13-minute Iron Man match. We are talking Unstable versus Death Club. Tyson Steele, Drew Kennedy, Spike Masters versus Cody Simmons, Joey Graves, and Tommy A. Hawkins. 3 of which you know very well. I'm talking about Death Club.
Yes, I do. Former club members.
Stablemates.
And those guys I went to battle with, and then when everything went bad,
when you joined up with them, you did gain that Intercontinental Championship.
Yes, I did. And then once I left them, I lost it.
Sure,
but
they
you know,
have you back.
Yeah.
But then that Intercontinental title did turn into that All-Stars Championship.
Yes, it did.
But 3 men one of these men you do know. You do know Drew Kennedy, because you guys went to war over that light heavyweight championship back in season 1.
Yes, I do. I do know Drew Kennedy very well.
Back after season 1, when you won that title, he became your first competitor, and he beat you for it. Of course, you did regain it back.
Yes, I did, and I do know Drew Kennedy very well, and that is a very strong, powerful man that can just brutalize you when you're not ready for it.
But do you believe that he's become even more brutal under the mindset of Tyson Steele and alongside Spike Masters? I mean, sure, they were tag team partners back in season 1 alongside Tony Lee Williams, Lucifer, and Spike Masters' brother, but I feel he's become more dangerous since becoming a part of Unstable.
Yeah, I would think so too, because you gotta think about it. Tyson Steele is a smart, psychotic man that just seems to have a game plan for every 3-man team that steps up against them, and it always works. So yeah, I would say so, that he's probably stronger under the guidance of Tyson Steele.
You think about the teams that Unstable have run through since winning those 6-man tag team titles 192 days ago. They have defeated Death Club. They have defeated the Street Kings. They have defeated
the Kings of Darkness.
Kings of Darkness, yes, who are the current undisputed tag team champions. Not to mention they've also defeated the World Destroyers, former tag team champion. They've defeated the British Empire, the French Alliance, D3, which is Connor Storm, Colt Tyson, and the other one, Christian Rainey. Dave Rogers nearly with the win there, but these teams, they have all tried to beat Unstable for those 6-man tag team titles, but when it becomes Tornado Tag, Tyson Steel just steps it up to that next notch. Because you think about this, they have never been eliminated from a 6-man Tornado Tag team match.
Oh my God. The most shockingest thing just happened.
Let me guess. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Jones beats Dave Rogers for the first time. Maybe it's Bobby Jones who should be in that Fatal 4-Way NXW Championship match.
I think Dave would probably kill him if Dave heard you say that, and he'd probably kill you too.
Know, right? Bring it on! I'll set the Neo Titan on him.
I think he'd probably break the Neo Titan.
Probably. The way Neo Titan thing going.
But shocking.
And put them together.
But you know, shocking victory here tonight. Congratulations, Bobby Jones. I would watch your back.
It was a great match nonetheless, but you got to think it could have been that Dave Rogers
ain't focused on Bobby.
No, I was gonna say because of those false count anywhere rules, maybe because of the championship stipulations, or the fact that Sosa took away his prized position. He took away that internet championship. Maybe Dave Rogers kind of lost focus a little bit, and Bobby Jones, he took full advantage of it.
That is true. But last week, like, Dave and Bobby fought and Dave beat him. And the week before that, Bobby came out and attacked him with a chair. But something lit a fire under Bobby Jones this week, and Bobby Jones got the win.
Maybe it's the announcement that he'll be in the 2nd annual Chaos Mania Battle Royale.
Maybe so. But enough talk about these guys. We gotta go to the next match. But back to the Chaos Mania 2 schedule. Back to the Chaos Mania 2 lineup.
Right, we were talking about Unstable versus
Death Club. I think we got done with that.
Well, to be fair, there is one more element that, you know, Tyson Steel, Spike Masters, and Drew Kennedy have never dealt with, and that is the time limit stipulation. Because they're normally used to, hey, we beat one person and then we can gang up on them 2 to 3.
Yeah.
And then 1 to 3 and then we win. But even if they do get a pinfall, that person will remain for another so-and-so minute. So that could play into a game plan of Unstable.
Yes,
Time
but
is a factor come in that 6-man tag match.
And you got to think about it. The bigger you are, the less endurance you have. So that kind of puts Spike at a disadvantage compared to even Tommy A. Hawkins. And that kind of puts a disadvantage on Drew. You got to think the one that has the best advantage there is probably Tyson Steel.
Well, that is true, but then you got to think Tyson Steel, later in that night, he has to defend that NCW United States Championship against Andy Reeves. And you got to think Tyson Steel's best weapon is Andy Reeves' target. That knee. The knee that has put so many people away. Corvo Jack, among others. Let's see, who has he put away with those knee strikes?
Everyone.
Exactly. Everyone he stood in the ring with. Well, at least in season 2.
Yeah.
And like sometimes he just does it out of pure brutality. Those who do beat Tyson Steel end up in a worse way than when they came in.
That is true. But you gotta think about this. Death Club are dangerous when they're all together.
That is true, but remember, Unstable have beaten Death Club in the past, but that
with
is
the
back
elimination.
when Death Club. But then you've also got to think Death Club, they were all rookies at that time, excluding Tony Lee Williams.
Yes,
But
and now
Tony
they
Lee
got
Williams was
experience.
only being used to a two-man environment. Cody Simmons, Joey Graves, they went through the All-Stars tournament to gain experience. Cody Simmons came so close to getting to at least what was he, like the final four?
Yeah, I think so.
Joey Graves, pretty much. That's the exact same. But anyway, let us move on back to Tyson Steele's United States Championship. This is the threat that Tyson Steele has to deal with when it comes to being a dual champion. Only two other men know what that's like, Evan Edwards and yourself. What goes through your mind when you have to defend two titles on the same night?
Well, I know what it's like in Tyson Steele's part with a team title or like a tag title and then a singles title. Well, first of all, you don't want to let your team down. And then the other thing that goes through your mind is you don't want to be hurt and lose your belt. So then you got to think about, what can I do in this tag team match to kind of spare myself to have enough left in the tank for that match. So then it just becomes a game of, can I endure the pain and the suffering to handle my one-on-one opponent? Because once I have the one-on-one opponent, there is no team. Like for me, I had to fight my tag partner the night we had to defend the tag titles.
That is true. And also, there's a big difference. Tyson Steele is dealing with a submission artist, a man who is hell-bent on breaking the knee to tap you out, and that is not Spike Martin, Tyson Steele's biggest weapon. So the question is, can Tyson Steele hit those knee strikes before Andy Reid breaks that knee down to the point he can't even defend those six-man tag team titles?
That is true. But you got to think about it. Tyson Steele is a smart, psychotic man. So you got to think that he's going to hurt Andy Reid just as much as Andy Reid is going to try to hurt him. And you got to think Tyson Steele is going to be smart about his knees, because you got to think about it. Andy Reeves, if he sees that knee coming up, he is a submission specialist. Not just any type of submission specialist, a knee submission specialist. He wants to kill your knees. Not break them, not snap them, kill them.
He wants to make sure that you walk on one leg, and if that leg's still walking, he'll break you down to the point you have to crawl to get a win.
Yes, and there's been people that have crawled to a victory.
Oh, yeah. But those who have faced Andy Reid know what he's all about. I mean, he went through that All-Stars tournament with a 9-4 record, and 7 of which came by submissions.
Yes, very true. And a match I would kind of like to see is two submission specialists, not to get off track of Chaos Mania, but Andy Reeves and Loki Suzuki.
Speaking of Loki Suzuki, the new NCW Hardcore champion has to defend that title in a fatal 4-way. He has to defend against former champions Clark, Oliver Morrison, Evan Edwards, and Justin J. in an elimination-style street fight. So what would the strategy be there for a submission specialist?
Well, for a submission specialist, since it's elimination, because NCW rules, always
You're
elimination.
assuming that nobody's going to break up the tap-outs.
Yes, because I would assume that because, okay, your opponent is getting hurt, why break it up?
True, but also, if there's still someone left in that match, you could also try to become their ally to eliminate the most dangerous man in that match, which you have to believe is the champion.
Very true. But you also got to think Evan Edwards, newcomer, very dangerous as well.
Not to mention, when he was hardcore champion, he defended that title for 2 straight months, which led him to the Undisputed Championship, holding 2 single titles at the same time. Of course, that all came crashing to an end at the hands of Clark Oliver Morrison and King Gutter.
Yes, it did. And you got to think about it. 2 men that hate each other, Gutter and Clark, basically worked together to take down Evan Edwards in
exactly
figurative
right.
language.
So you got to think Clark Oliver Morrison, who hates Justin J, and Loki Suzuki would have to work together to take out the threat that is Evan Edwards.
Very true. But you got to think about it. Evan Edwards and Clark Oliver.
True, but do you reckon their egos would be enough to create such an environment where they have to team together?
I mean, you'll do anything for a win and for a title.
True.
You'll
On the grandest on the grandest stage of them all. Speaking of, only 2 out of those 4 men have been at Chaos Mania. Both men have picked up victories. However, Loki Suzuki, he was in a 6-man tag match to open Season 1, World Elite versus Malik Ladan, Adam Saban, and I think it was Ken Snow.
I think so.
Yeah, that's who it was. But Clark Oliver Morrison, he was the main event of Season 1's Chaos Mania.
Yes, he was. And he was the one that beat Gutter.
He went in as champion, he came out as champion. So, he knows what that championship stipulation is like. But he doesn't know the multi-man, the multi-man environment.
That is very true.
Because the last time he was in a multi-man environment, he lost the Champion of Champions title to Lucha Rainbow in a fatal 4-way, which included Dizzleby and King Gutter.
And if we're going multi-man style, I would probably give the advantage to Loki Suzuki. Or even Evan Edwards.
True. I mean, Evan Edwards has defended that hardcore title in his debut pay-per-view match against Evan Edwards and Roy Nolan, 2 of which are like 2 of the best of the season 2's rookies.
Very true. And just Evan Edwards came up and was just like a rocket ship, just shot up and was just quick with it. And you gotta think that
he's done something that you've yet to do, like 2 things actually: win that hardcore title and win the Undisputed title.
Very true.
2 things you have to cross off your list, and he's done it already. For that man to become a Grand Slam champion, he's got to find a partner, which he could do with Clark Oliver Morrison. And all he's got left is that mid-card title, and you got to believe Eddie Knight, Tony Lee Williams, Tyson Steele, and Andy Reeves, they've all got to watch their backs when involved with Evan Edwards, because that is a man who could take your championship for another piece to his collection.
Yes, it is. And speaking of which, here comes a youthful bomb from the Youthful Assassins.
The tag team champions looking to prove themselves.
I swear, these 2 men do that youthful bomb so perfect.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to break them in half. I think it's because they're both heavyweights.
Yeah,
a little bit of miscommunication there. Trying to set one of the youthful assassins up to get taken out. But anyway, we were talking about that Intercontinental title. Let's talk about that match. Eddie Knight versus Tony Lee Williams. 2 men you have history with.
One on the good and bad side, and the other on the bad side. So
Exactly right. Eddie Knight made sure you weren't getting back that Intercontinental title.
Yes, he
Tony Lee
did.
Williams, you've had one fight with him, and you did defeat him back, I believe, at Unforgettable. Yeah, it was Unforgettable because that was a pay-per-view before before All Stars.
Yes, and we also were a tag team, and we were 2 members in Death Club.
Sure.
And speaking of Death Club, here comes another youthful bomb.
I wouldn't say Death Club because they do something else.
True.
But anyway, Intercontinental Championship, you know what that title's about. You know how hard you have to work to become champion. What does Tony Lee Williams have to do to defeat Eddie Knight to become Intercontinental Champion?
Well, you gotta watch out for the power bombs, first of all.
The knife bombs, yeah.
Yeah, night bombs. And just Eddie Knight is a dangerous man that doesn't get a lot of credit for being how dangerous that he is.
Everyone looks at him thinking that he's this egotistical amateur wrestler.
But he is egotistical.
Matches, but he has a right to be egotistical.
Yeah.
6-time Intercontinental Champion, the most in history. Excluding, you know, Miz, Jericho, and Dolph Ziggler and Jeff Jarrett, but that's WWE, not NCW. Big difference. But this is 6 Intercontinental titles in 2 years. Well, also, he is a former United States champion and a former 3-time world champion.
That is true, and Youthful Assassins with the win.
And look at that. That is some momentum being built there for Dwayne Young for his world title shot.
Yes, it is.
But Tony Lee Williams, Eddie Knight, they have faced off in the past before. But this is the most focus I've seen out of Tony Lee Williams.
Yes, it is, and I've known Tony for majority of season 2. Me and him didn't really know each other in season 1, but Tony...
He had no reason to, but...
Exactly. But Tony, like, he seems like this big, bad, burly, just physical specimen. But when you get to know him, he's seems like such a kind guy. You can't take him serious.
Did not make sense that he was Death Club.
Yeah, like, you can't really take him serious in a, like, mean heel type of person. You gotta, like, him and Eddie Knight are gonna clash so hard in this match because of how, like, Eddie Knight seems like a face type everyone would love when you look at him, but when you know him, it's just like everyone hates him. And then Tony is the exact opposite. You look at him and you think, oh my god, this dude, everyone just hates him, but everyone loves him because...
A good old classic saying, don't judge a book by the cover.
Exactly.
Eddie Knight, he might look like, you know, the pure cut babyface of America, but deep down, he's an egotistical maniac. He knows how good he is. He's not afraid to show it, and he shows it to the point he will decimate his opponent. Sometimes a match should end with one Knight's bomb, but no. He does it so close to the ropes so he knows they kick out. Just so he can continue punishing them.
That is very true.
Tony Lee Williams, on the other hand, he's the kind of guy who tries to get the match done as soon as possible. Every time he hits a finishing move, he goes for that cover instantly. He doesn't try to prove that he's better, he just wants that win.
Very true.
Oh, fuck off, motorbike riders.
And here comes the King's Challenge. Here comes the self-proclaimed King of NXW, King Ryan.
Let's talk about some kings. Let's talk about the Kings of Darkness, the NCW undisputed tag team champion Manhunter and Trevor Lee White. They will be defending their tag team titles against the #1 contenders, Wonder Kid and Kid Stacked. And it's going to be one hell of a contest because Stack, a former 2-time tag team champion, the man who helped create the undisputed tag team titles, not as in design the belt, but was the first champion to hold that undisputed title. But now he has a tag team partner that's not focused on himself. You know, Wonder Kid looks up to Stacked.
Exactly. So now Stack don't just have to do it all on his own. Now he has someone that can actually help him. So what do you think he can do against the Kings of Darkness?
That's the question. What can he do against the Kings of Darkness?
And you got to think about it.
You've got Manhunter, you've got Trevor Lee White. They're two sadistic creatures of evil.
Yes, they are.
Look at Manhunter. He will lock you up in that manslayer. He will try to rip your head from your shoulders. And then you got Trevor Lee White, who tries to crush your skull, break your neck. These two men, they are sadistic under the ruling of Seth Goldman.
That is true. But you got to think about it. Wonder Kid, if you remember, he was in season 1 as well. So he is still kind of, he's got the experience in this match though. But not the champion.
That's right. It was him and someone else who defeated
Dark Matt.
Huh?
Yeah. Dark Matt, a former United States champion.
Yeah, they beat this big heavyweight dude. I forgot who that heavyweight dude was.
So did I. I think everyone did.
Nobody cares. But either way,
he's got the experience, but not the championship experience like Stack.
Exactly. This is Wonder Kid's first championship opportunity, and it's happening at Chaos Mania.
You know the butterfly's got to be in his guts.
Oh yeah. And you know that Manhunter's going to be willing to rip them out.
Wait, wasn't my first championship match at Chaos Mania 2?
Shut up. Nobody. Yeah, that's true. Well, to be fair, you were in the All-Stars Championship tournament. So, you know, if you did make it to the finals, you would have become world champion back then.
Yeah.
So technically, kind of it was, but it kind of wasn't. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a tournament for a ranking championship, so yes, you could have been champion, but then again, you lost in the semi-finals, so it wasn't the title match.
True. But you got to think about it, like tag teams. You said it correct.
Let's bring up another interesting fact. The tag team titles did change hands at Chaos Mania last year.
Yes, they did. Could it be
Redemption Kingdom? Tony Lee Williams and Angel Ramirez went in as champions, did not come out as champions. So history could repeat itself and could change hands. But then again, it's just we got a tag team that is pure bent on destruction.
I wouldn't even say destruction, I'd say pain.
That too.
And Stack, even though he is still a kind of a rookie of this year, and Wonder Kid has the veteran kind of experience, you got to think the oldest of the group, which would be Stack, has to lay it on the line and take control and try to...
You got to think in this match, Stack has the most experience because Manhunter, Trevor Lee White, they came in after Stack.
Yes, after Stack has won 2 tag team championships, Undisputed and Omega.
He is the first of both, and he is one half of the only Omega tag team champions.
Yep.
But anyway, let's talk about a man that you know oh so well, the Cruiserweight champion, Lucha Rainbow, where he will be defending another time against the Roll-Up Kid.
Yes, the man that took my Cruiserweight title, the Roll-Up Kid.
Well, then again, it was a triple threat match with Will Ospreay, but yeah.
Yeah. But Roll Up Kid.
The rules of a triple threat.
Roll Up Kid, very strange type of competitor. But
I don't know if he's strange, but he takes full advantage of the opportunities he gets given to him. Well, I don't know about given, but he earns those opportunities. He defeated Angel Jr., who went through a 16-man Cruiserweight #1 contenders tournament to having a shot at that Cruiserweight title, and he lost it to the Roll-Up Kid, who just debuted right after. Angel Jr. tried to make a statement out of him. Did not go according to plan, and that is where you had to come in and face the Roll-Up Kid. However, you never wanted your rematch with the Roll-Up Kid. You went straight for that Intercontinental title.
yes, I did, and that was because, you know, Roll Up Kid, because I felt like it was just a changing of the guard, and it was time for, you know, me to go on to bigger and better things, and, you know, I gained a little bit of weight, but, you know, I think, you know, these young cruiserweights are trying to make a name for themselves, but Lucha Rainbow, in my eyes, will go down in the books as a great competitor, and we've had numerous matches, and you can't even deny they were great matches.
I think you've only had like one one-on-one match.
Yeah, but still numerous matches with him.
True, triple threats, tag matches, etc.
Yeah,
But what is different between the Lucha Rainbow, who was going in as the light heavyweight champion, to the Lucha Rainbow that's coming in as cruiserweight champion?
well,
You gotta admit, he's got that mean streak going for him a mile long, and he
Yes.
is just tearing through everyone, including the Roll-Up Kid, who he defeated for that cruiserweight title.
yes, and
This is going to be Roll-Up Kid's third attempt at Lucha Rainbow. Will it be third time's a charm, or will it be a strikeout?
well, you gotta think. The difference between last year Lucha Rainbow and this year Lucha Rainbow. Last year Lucha Rainbow was about the fans, was about being a respectful luchador. And now this year, he lost everything that he had last year, then won Champion and Champions title, and then has to vacate it because he's hurt. So then he's pissed because he's injured. And then the fans didn't care when he came back. So he basically
He
said,
was just
fuck
another
the
name on the
fans.
roster.
Exactly. So he basically said, fuck the fans, it's about me. And this Lucha Rainbow is a painful, despisable person that just wants to hurt you, win the match,
match.
and get a title.
Exactly
And-
right. Lucha Rainbow, he went gun-ho for that cruiserweight title, and he took it. Like, the second he wanted that cruiserweight championship, it was around his waist quicker than you could tap out to that Rainbow Rings. Possibly one of the most devastating submission moves we've seen in Season 2.
Yes, it is. And that's another type of match that I'd probably like to see, like, with me and Lucha Rainbow again. Not
Who
even for a
knows, might
title.
happen in the
Yeah.
Veterans Cup.
Yeah, like, not even for a title, not even for a Veterans Cup. Just one good match, me and him.
Champion vs. champion.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, we'll have to see what the future holds. Well,
Yeah.
how fast did the Roll-Up Kid come onto the scene, become Cruiserweight Champion? Even though he did lose that title at NCW Rage, he did regain it. And he held on to it until he had to come up against that wall, which is Lucha Rainbow.
Yes, very true.
It's
And
that one guy that you can't beat, but you've got to think Roll-Up Kid is coming up with a strategy good enough to beat Lucha Rainbow.
yes,
Well, at least I hope he is, or else he's going to lose again, but...
yeah, Lucha Rainbow is someone you gotta prepare for, but it's hard to prepare for him. Because he's so unpredictable, but at the same time, he's so straightforward to the point.
The straight point being he wants to hurt you.
Exactly.
And you've got to prepare for either the pain or a way to counter said pain.
Exactly. And for Lucha Rainbow, size is small, but you also gotta think about it. A quick roll up, and Lucha could lose.
That is true. 3 seconds is all it takes for someone else's hands to go up in victory. And that is why the roll-up kid depends on that roll-up pin. And that is how he got through that Cruiserweight #1 Contenders tournament. How he managed to defeat Loki Suzuki, a man you had problems with. Not to mention he also beat Buddy Andrews, a former United States champion, and he defeated his former rival Jay Lee, a former Cruiserweight champion, to get this opportunity against Lucha Rainbow. So we know that roll-up pin does work.
Yes, we do.
But the question is, we don't know that it works against Lucha Rainbow, at least not yet.
Very true. And the evolution of pain, or the evolution of pain, is back out here, and it's Kendrick Robinson.
Speaking of pain, you gotta ask yourself, what kind of pain did Jeez go through when he heard WWE wanted to end their brotherhood as Street King, or as the Kings of the Street?
Street Kings.
Yeah, that's it. Just, hey, when everyone on your roster is calling themselves the King, you gotta friggin' think of something. But either way, Dizzle B, Jeez, they've been partners all the way since back to episode 1 of NCW Alpha, and then finally that brotherhood ended. Now it's all about Dizzle B, now it's all about G's. What's going to be going through their minds, knowing that these two men know each other so well that at the end of the tunnel, one of these two men will have an opportunity at that King of the Ring championship out of NCW Revenge.
Well, you gotta think, it's gonna be an emotional match for both of them. And since you know someone oh so well, they're going to pull out stuff that they've never used before. They're going to pull out stuff that no one would expect. Like, if, let's say, you know, Jeez did a high dissolution knee, or did Jeez's roundhouse kick, that would be something unexpected, something that would catch them off guard.
That is true.
Like, you gotta think.
Rivals know each other so well, they try to pull out the biggest tricks in the other one's playbook just to get them off guard.
Exactly.
We've seen in the past, like Randy Orton hitting John Cena with an AA, or Cena hitting Randy Orton with an RKO.
Very true. And Seth Rollins hitting Triple H with a pedigree.
That was out of reason. That's because nobody could figure out a finishing move for him.
Yeah.
And then a year later, it's like, fuck it, go back to the stomp.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be one hell of a match. But you think, are they going to put in extra effort knowing A, they're going to be opening Chaos Mania, and B, it's for a title opportunity. I mean, this is not just any title opportunity. I mean, all title opportunities should be treated the same, but this is the King of the Ring Championship, a title where you defend it 3 times, you get an opportunity at that Undisputed Championship. A realm where Dizzle B has been before, but not G's.
Very true. And G's has held a title, but only one.
He is a former United States champion.
That is true, and
Dizzle B has held that title 6 times. So the most reigns for a United States champion.
Very true.
Not to mention, this will be also a former two-time champion. No one else held that title twice. I mean, you look at the names who have held that championship: Lucha Rainbow, Tony Lee Williams, Alexander Leonardo Davidson, Clark Oliver Morrison, Ken Snow, and Andreas Gonzalez, and Diddleby. Only Diz held that title twice.
Yes,
so you know he's got that big championship feel.
Yes, and a very decorated superstar he is.
Indeed he is. In his second match, he became United States champion.
Yes, he did, but that's all back in season 1. Even G's title is back in season 1. It's not about then, it's about now. What you can do now.
That is exactly right. You're only as good as your last match. It doesn't matter how many times you've won a title. If you can't win, it doesn't matter, because you won't become a champion again.
Exactly. If you put all your effort into the match that you won for that title and you can't do it again, then what's the point of that title now if you can't do it a second time?
Exactly right. Speaking of a man who has held many championships in his career, Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, the man who dominated NCW's main event picture, one-time NCW Alpha Champion, three-time NCW Undisputed Champion. He will be going one-on-one with Neo Extreme. And you've been in the ring with Okada. You've beaten Okada.
Yes, I have.
But that was the Okada who, at the start of the season, now he is a four-time world champion in NCW.
Very true.
But ever since Okada lost that Undisputed Championship to David Cassidy, he has not been the same. You think this match may be able to revitalize his career?
It could either revitalize it, or it could probably just implode it even more.
Sure. But also, Neo Extreme, he hasn't been in a match for quite some time. You think there's ring rust?
I don't think there's ever ring rust on Neo Extreme.
That's a tag match, which he lost to Angel Ramirez and Dylan Nara.
True.
Well, Neo Titan lost, but still.
True, but I don't think there's ever been ring rust on Neo Extreme. Neo Extreme knows the ropes better than probably half of the freaking roster, so.
We'll have to see if Neo Extreme has what it takes to take his streak to 2-0 at Chaos Mania, or will he fall to the Rainmaker? And then, what else do we have to talk about? Ooh, the second annual Chaos Mania Battle Royale. 30 men, one opportunity, and that opportunity will lead them to the Undisputed Championship at NCW Revenge.
Yes, it will.
4 men from NXW will be competing in it. We got James Falcon, the first ever NXW World Champion. We got Bobby Jones, which we saw early tonight with a huge victory. We've also got Sosa Kennedy and Marco Garcia. And what an opportunity it would be for those 4 men if they could go from developmental to the World Championship of the main roster.
And we are seeing one of the men in the NXW Championship match at Chaos Mania, Brandon Blackwell, in this match right now.
Indeed, he's got a huge opportunity ahead of him. But the question is, who will be going champion going into that match?
And there's Brandon's knockout to Kendrick Robinson. 1, 2, ooh, and a kick out.
But let's talk about the big men going into this match. This 13-man Battle Royale.
And
we got names like Sean O'Connor, Neo Titan, and Lance Danielson. Not to mention Diego Crimson as well. What kind of advantage and disadvantage do the big men have going into a 30-man Battle Royale?
Well, you gotta think. Big men. They got a lot of power, but they're also the big men. So they're an immediate target. And there's more there's more smaller guys than there is bigger guys. So you got to think about that too.
That is true, but we're not talking about like the big guys who can't move. Like, look at Lance Danielson. He can clear that top rope like it's a high jump bar.
But the thing is, if he clears the top rope, then he's out.
Sure. I mean, it's not like he's going to take the fight to the outside. Wait. I completely forgot to bring up the fact that Tyler Wilson is in this match. There's 5 guys. Ooh, 5 people have an opportunity. Well, let's talk about former champions coming into this one. We got former hardcore champions like Damian Rolando, Roy Nolan, Tetsuya Naito, Seth Goldman.
And think about the champion you have going into that match.
Which champion?
The NXW Internet Champion, Sosa Kennedy.
Sure. I mean, he could turn the Internet Championship into a Undisputed Championship.
Yes, and you have a former NXW champion.
2 grand. True. You got James Falcon. But then again, you've also got the first ever NCW World Champion as well, in Alexander Leonardo Davidson. Both men know what it's like to be the first.
That would be a good match. James Falcon and Alexander Leonardo Davidson, if they square off in that. Ooh.
I'm ready. But you gotta think, James Falcon could be the first man in history, if he was to win this Battle Royale, to be the first NXW and NCW World Champion.
Very true.
Let's talk about a couple of underdog. What's the technical term for that? Underdogs? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the cruiserweights like Angel Jr., Corvo Jack, Frankie Stevens, El Texical. These are all cruiserweights coming into a heavyweight brawl. What are their advantages and disadvantages?
Well, they're light, but they're fast. But their arsenals are high flying. Not smart in a match where you go over the top rope. Because if you jump and you get caught, you're already halfway out.
But you think about it, Corvo Jack, he's a technical fighter. Frankie Stevens is a technical fighter.
Now
El Texical, he's not a high flyer per se, but he does have a couple of those moves in his arsenal.
And in this match, you want to cut that out. You want to make sure that is out of your mind, because it is not smart to fly in a match that you go over the top rope. Because if you jump or you're on the top rope, you're already halfway out.
Pretty much, you're practically baiting them in to take you out.
You're living on the edge.
High risk, no reward if you get caught.
Very true.
But then you got former Undisputed Champions David Cassidy coming into this one. Not to mention, you got people from New Japan, Tetsuya Naito, Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi. What are their chances coming into a Battle Royale? I mean, Ospreay, he's a cruiserweight. Naito, Tanahashi, they're both light heavyweight to heavyweights. But you gotta think they want this opportunity to solidify themselves coming into NCW, because this could be their only year in the brand. And Naito's only won the hardcore title. Tanahashi's done nothing. Same with Ospreay.
Very true.
But there is one name that sticks out to me. One name. You know he wants this more than anyone else. Angel Ramirez. This is a man who has publicly said he wants that undisputed title. He doesn't care what he has to do in order to get it. He doesn't care whether he's got to beat everyone on the roster, whether he's got to win a battle royale, whether he's got to go through tournaments. he wants that Undisputed title, and you know what it's like to want that Undisputed Championship. I mean, you went through a 30-man tournament, no, 28-man tournament in order to get this opportunity.
Yes, I did, and you know, it's hard work. Very hard work, and just the sheer fact of want is something that can thrive and make you stronger, but it can also be your kryptonite too. So
desire could be your biggest weakness.
You can't, like, you can focus on your goal, but if you focus on your goal too much, it's not going to be healthy for you.
Look at Johnny Gargano.
And we got 2 men that are going to be seen at Chaos Mania. Right here. Chaos Mania 2. We got 2 men that are in this Battle Royal. James Falcon and Sosa Kennedy.
I'm surprised this is not for the Internet Championship.
Yes, Sosa said he is not doing the same thing as Dave Rogers. He is not going to be an open challenge champion. He said, if you're going to fight me, you better earn the title shot.
Well, what better way to earn it than by beating the champion?
Exactly.
Of course, we got 2 other matches to cover on the Chaos Mania 2 card, but pretty sure you don't care about them. And that is being the Women's Championship and the Women's Tag Team titles.
Yep. We'll see those at Chaos Mania 2.
Of course we will. I mean, well, Amber James, she's coming in as the Women's Champion. Cynthia Moore, her best friend backstage, best friend in the ring, is her opponent. What do you have to do to beat your best friend for that championship?
Well, you gotta think at the end. At the end, you're still gonna be friends.
Are you gonna be friends?
Well,
That's the question.
I would say yes.
Break up the tag teams over championships. You should know that better than anyone because you broke up with Seth Goldman over that cruiserweight title.
Very true, but you got to think about this.
You broke up with Death Club over the tag team title, well, not tag team, but the Intercontinental title.
Very true, but still, best friends. You got to think. It's a title. Both women are gonna leave it all in there. And you gotta think, you're gonna perform better because it's your friend. Someone you've known forever.
Each other so well.
You're gonna, the chemistry in the ring with each other, you're gonna build off each other so well, it's just gonna be ridiculous how it is.
But the big question is, will they be friends after? I mean, Cynthia Moore, she's with Alexander Leonardo Davidson. Amber James, she's with Frankie Stevens. They're leaving them behind just to focus on the women's title. They want that revolution.
Very true. Very true.
They don't want, you know, shady business about that women's title. Because we've seen it in the past with Amber James. What she was willing to do to hold that women's title the first time. Because she screwed over Sharon Storm because she had
Falcons win.
because she had Frankie Stevens at ringside during a title defense.
Yeah.
But this time she's not bringing out anyone. She wants to do right for the women's title because she didn't even bring him out for the match with Selena Sokolov at Revolution. And you know you need the most help you can get against that fucking beast. Like, not even against Akira Valentine, not even against, you know, Amber James wants to do right that women's title. She doesn't want to make it a joke because of the, you know, 8-woman division. Speaking of, 4 of the other 6 women will be competing for the women's tag team titles. Something we haven't seen in, you know, quite some time.
Very true.
Akira Valentine and Sharon Storm. Who you got for this one? I mean, this was kind of added at the last minute.
Gotta go Shannon Storm.
You reckon Ellie Hartman and Sharon Storm's going to beat the Russian and the Princess?
I think so.
I have to see about that one. I mean, sure, they both have one match's experience as a tag team. Karen Valentine and Selena Sokolov, they lost to Amber Jane and Cynthia Moore a month ago. Ellie Hartman and Sharon Storm, they defeated the Barn Twins to get this opportunity. So they do have this. They do have the tag team chemistry, so to speak. But the question is, do they have what it takes to put down Selena Sokolov and a former women's champion?
Very true.
And last but not least, let's talk about a match that you'll know a lot about. The NXW World Championship. What does it mean for NXW to take their top prize to the big stage?
Well, you gotta think about it. We have 4 of the top men representing NXW. You gotta think they're gonna do their hardest, because not only is it a title shot, but they're trying to prove themselves to the people on the main roster, the stars that are always there, that have held championships, that fight in front of the NCW fans every night. You gotta think they're gonna try to put on a show for these NCW fans, for the people in the back, even for you.
Sure, they'll be doing it in front of a live audience.
Yes, and they're gonna try to prove themselves.
NCW Season 2 history. No, yeah, I haven't done a live stream this year for it.
Yep.
The referee not paying any attention to that steel chair in the ring. Well, now he does.
But this match has been bloody. Oh shit. Sosa might be in trouble. Here comes again. Falcon's wing. And the ref is distracted.
But do you think this NXW World Championship match will motivate the next, I guess, generation of NXW stars to put in 110% to perhaps be in the same situation that these 4 men will be in?
I mean, I would think so. I mean, if these 4 men are getting a great opportunity to show what they've got, I figure everyone on the NXW roster will, like, show their heart and everything that they got because of that. So,
I mean, something that you've never done before, but going into Chaos Mania as the champion, what does it have to say about the NXW brand's top champion to go to an unknown environment with the belt?
well, he's going into an unknown environment, but people that he's fought before. So,
Sure.
you got to think about it. Yeah, it's a new environment. Yeah, it's a bigger stage. Yeah, it's a lot more people. But it's still fighting the same people that you see every night and people that you know. So you got to think about it. It's going to be...
The champion, whether it be Bruce Kendrick or Dwayne Young, has never stepped into a fatal 4-way environment.
Well, not for a title.
No.
Because Dwayne Young has been in fatal 4-ways.
Well, to be fair, he was in an APAC challenge for that briefcase.
Yes, 8-man ladder match, and then pretty few 8-pack, pretty few 8-pack challenges.
True. Dave Rogers won his opportunity at the Internet Championship in an 8-pack challenge.
And the move that Sosa, speaking of Dave Rogers, the move that Sosa just hit James Falcon with is what beat Dave Rogers at Warzone for that title.
But you got to believe that NXW Championship, winning it on the grandest stage of them all, and then coming back to NXW, that's got to put a lot on the new champion's shoulders if the title does change hands.
Yes, and you also got to think that would also mean a target, because you got to do something other men just dream of, and then you're a target. Even if you lose, you're still a target, because you have to do something that other people didn't get to do, and that's show up on the greatest stage on the main roster and prove your point.
Exactly, prove that you're ready for that top level talent. I mean, I'm sure the guys that is aired regularly on NXW television probably deserve more of an opportunity than some of the guys who are sitting backstage and not doing anything.
And oh my gosh, what a shocking victory. You gotta think that builds momentum to the Battle Royal, with James Falcon getting the win. You gotta think he might get an opportunity. Yes.
Wow. But also, he just beat the Internet Champion. That's gonna lead him to an opportunity.
Okay, what the hell just happened here? Why the hell is he beating up his tag partner?
Because fuck it, James Falcon does what he pleases. He's unhinged. He wants championship gold. So that's why he joined the Darkbird, for a kicking back. Like, you lay on the ground, let me kick the fuck out of you.
Oh,
here we
shit.
go with our main event. The question that we've been asking.
Is it main event? Nope.
I think so, because that was no. Onwards to the semi-main event. Man, this live stream's been breezing past.
Yeah. Want to do episode 11 as well?
Sure, what? Why the fuck not? We got a lot more to talk about, I'm sure.
Yep. And speaking of what everyone wants to know what we were talking about,
WWE 2K19 is right around the corner.
Literally 2 weeks away.
Pretty much. Two of the biggest events is going to be happening in the 1 week. A, Chaos Mania 2, and B, the release of 2K19. But you will see yours truly live stream at midnight in Australia, which is fucking whatever for you guys, like 9 AM or some shit. No, not 9 AM. Is it 9 AM?
I don't know.
I feel it isn't.
9 or 3 or something. I don't know. But also,
either way, if you're awake to see the live stream, watch it.
Yeah, and then
Watch
when
it
I
live.
get home at later that day, probably when Neo's asleep, which it's WWE 2K19, he probably won't be asleep.
Fuck no. No, I'll probably be out. I've got some shit to do on that day.
Yeah.
Pretty much I'm gonna sleep, and then wake up, do the live stream, and then go out, come home.
And then get back on and do it.
Probably.
Well, when I get home, I'll do the live stream on the NCW Developmental. And, you know, we'll go through creating, you know, DJ Young and, you know, NXW or whatever.
That reminds me, what championships will be coming to NXW? We know we got the World, Internet, and Tag Team. What else will be joining the NXW brand, if any new titles will be coming?
Well, I was thinking we bring the NXW. Well, you're gonna have to help me think of a name for it, but as of right now, the NXW Prove It belt, which I know
talking
you're.
about Iron Man's rules.
No, not even Iron Man rules. So this belt, there's gonna be all men of NXW, kind of what you do with the King of the Ring, but all men are gonna fight for it. 1 round elimination. And if you win this championship, yeah, 1 round, like 1 match, you lose, you're out. You go on.
Yeah.
If you win this title, you have to defend it against the other finalists a second time, and then the 3 other semifinalists, or the 2 other semifinalists. And then if you do that, and if the big boss man Neo approves, you get to go up to the main roster. But if you lose one of these matches, then the person that beat you, they take that title and they have to beat you again, and then they get to pick who else they want to fight.
So it's not a prove me belt, it's a step up belt.
Basically,
step
yes.
up or go home.
Basically, yes. And you got to think there's going to be people in line that want to prove that they can come to the main roster, and that's their shot right there.
How about we do this? Option A, they can cash in for an opportunity to go for that NXW World Championship, or B, they can compete against a hand-picked opponent by yours truly, and if they beat them, then they can come up to the main roster.
I like that even better.
If you want to step up, you got to prove yourself against a man on the roster. Who could it be? It could be the Madman Tyson Steel. It could be the monster among men, Spike Masters.
Or it could even be their boss, me.
What better way to prove yourself against the All-Stars 2018 champion?
Or you could just give them a bye week and let them fight Gutta.
There is a championship that will be coming to NCW, and that will be the NCW Iron Man Championship.
Ooh.
Every match will be defended in a 30-minute Iron Man match.
Now that sounds interesting.
And not to mention, it will be on the same level as King of the Ring. That means if you can go 19 minutes as champion, in from bell to bell, 19 minutes in 3 matches, if you can win all of them, then you can get a shot at the undisputed title.
Ooh. But you gotta think about this, Neo. What if the King of the Ring champion wins 3 times, and then the Iron Man champion wins 3 times, and they both get it around the same time? Would they have to fight each other to see who gets the number 1 contender shot, or would it be a triple threat?
Ooh, interesting, interesting. What about this? 1 week, it is King of the Ring versus World Champion. Next week, it is Iron Man versus World Champion. And if they can beat the champion, then they move on to the pay-per-view main event to challenge for that undisputed championship.
Very nice.
So you got to think the Iron Man title, they have to work the hardest in order to do so.
Very true.
I mean, they got to go 30 minutes each time they defend that title. The King of the Ring champion, well, that's just, you know, winning the biggest tournament of the year outside of the All-Stars tournament. Not to mention the All-Stars title, not the All-Stars, the King of the Ring championship tournament. When we go to the Season 2 King of the Ring tournament, it will be defended every time the champion is in action.
Oh, Lord.
That means by the finals, the King of the Ring championship will be on the line.
Damn.
But how many new champions will we see be crowned in that King of the Ring championship tournament? Also,
Very
what
true.
the fuck? Tyson Wilson just ripped through him.
I think it's because of the new gear. You know, he got rid of the blue and went to all black and was just brutal, just quick with his
And Kid Cash
destruction.
did not put in much of effort on the outside to help.
I mean,
his
can
back
you
partner.
blame him? I wouldn't want to help him. Not with Tyler Wilson in the ring.
You got to think a win like that's got to set him up for an internet title shot.
Very true, and Tyler Wilson looks like ever since he's got rid of Brandon Blackwell, both men have been doing a lot better.
I mean, one has an opportunity to win a battle royale, the other has an opportunity to win the world title.
Very true.
But it looks like Kid Cash on the outside wants a piece of him.
Maybe we see that
Maybe
next
that
week.
might be a setup for next week.
Well,
Or next episode.
or like a couple minutes from now. Shh, they don't know. But yes, and you know, we want to talk about 19. Well, let's talk about the first pay-per-view of NCW Season 3, a match that I've agreed to, and no matter what I am, champion or not, I gotta step into the unstable asylum.
Well, it's more like the unstable asylum's backyard.
Oh, well, I don't want to be in that fucking house with him.
Fuck no.
Because we know who's sitting in there. Fucking Tyson Steele and Drew Kennedy.
Exactly right. Not to mention, at the moment, the six-man tag team titles and the US titles have been held hostage in that situation. But this match, Spike Masters versus DJ Young at NCW Reset, there will be no ring. It will be in pure darkness. It will have gravel beneath their feet as their body has been rammed into the ground, whether via the power of Spike Masters. Hell, the last thing Spike Masters could see is his lights being turned out in the form of gravel smashing him in the face.
And that's the thing, if I do that, I need to run the hell off.
Yeah, you need to get the hell out of that yard.
You gonna leave me a car outside on the street?
Well, there is a car, but I don't know if it works or not. If you can get that car working, I'd use it to run him over.
I'll use the tractor.
I don't... Honestly, since I haven't seen 2K19, I've seen some gameplay footage. So I don't exactly know what to expect.
Hopefully we'll be able to go into the house.
Hopefully, maybe it was just a thing to hold people off so they didn't spoil the greatness of the game.
Yeah,
Because fucking God knows everyone's already done that. Like 2 weeks away from the game release and everyone jizzed their pants who went there.
No shit. And I am proud of my career. Like, it does look like there's actually some, like, kind of a storyline.
All voiced.
Yes.
Not just as shitty words on the screen, it's actually all voiced in.
Yeah, and
but
like,
I just hope that they don't set you up to one storyline as hey, you got to feud with the Wyatts, or you got to team up with Matt Hardy, or
yeah, like I hope
pick a fight with Braun Strowman.
See, I kind of like the storyline thing, but like, give us options of what we want to do. Like, give us like how they do in NBA. Like, give us like, okay, you can go this option and it goes you like an authority way, or you go this option you rebel, or this option you do your own thing, or this something like that. Like, I like the storyline where you have like cutscenes and shit happening.
But let us have an unlimited storyline.
Yeah, like an unlimited storyline.
Full WWE experience.
Or even
shitty BCW crap.
Or let us have the storyline, but don't let it end on the storyline. Then let us go through and play the my career how we want to do it. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with a set storyline for a little bit, but not the whole thing. Like, I hope you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, kind of. But we see Bruce Kendrick with the NXW Championship. This man, he could be involved in 2 big matches. Well, he will be. For that NXW title. One at Warzone and the second at Chaos Mania 2. What do you think is going to be going through his mind, knowing that he's going to be involved in 2 big matches in 2 big pay-per-views back to back?
Yes, but if anyone can do it, I'm sure it is Bruce Kendrick, the Weapon X. This man lost when he first came to this title, when he fought James Falcon. But the week after that, he said, give me one more shot and I guarantee I'll prove it. And James Falcon said, okay. And boy, did Bruce Kendrick ever.
Wasn't that in a triple threat environment?
Yes, it was. Because
some big hillbilly.
Blake Scott ended up winning a 8-man match, and James Falcon said, okay, I want him tonight too. Wrong move, but Blake Scott didn't even get his hands on James Falcon.
Blake Scott, because he won that opportunity to become #1 contender, but because of the selfish eagerness of the current champion, he got to cash in on that opportunity. So you think somewhere down the line, Blake Scott is given another opportunity at that NXW World Championship?
Very well could be.
Perhaps the winner at whoever wins at Chaos Mania has to defend that title against Blake Scott.
Could be.
I mean, in all fairness, Bruce Kendrick didn't really have any business butting in to that Undisputed Championship situation. Oh, not Undisputed. World title situation. But here he stands with that world title because he had to step on the biggest brick of them all to get what he wanted.
Very true. But in that match, Blake Scott never got his hands on James Falcon. He only was handled by Bruce Kendrick, and Bruce Kendrick eliminated him, and then Bruce Kendrick and James Falcon went at it in a bloodbath, and Bruce Kendrick made James Falcon tap in the center of the ring.
But Blake Scott was going into that title match with the mindset that it was going to be one-on-one.
No.
So
he wasn't, because Bruce Kendrick and James Falcon was the one-on-one match, but Blake Scott won the 8-pack challenge at the end.
But Blake Scott was going in after he won that 8-pack challenge, knowing that he was going to get the champion one-on-one, no matter who it was going to be. He didn't expect to fight both of them.
Yeah, true.
So that's why his game plan could have been ruined. His focus could have been on James Falcon, but Bruce Kendrick, being the Weapon X, had to take care of business early.
Very true.
Because he knew if that big man got his 100% focus on him, he might not have been able to win.
Very true, but smart by Bruce Kendrick to get the big man out of that match.
Exactly right. That big men are always the biggest threats when it comes to triple threat matches. That's why if two smaller men are involved, they have to deal with the biggest threat. I mean, you've never seen a triple threat match with two big men involved.
That is true.
Unless you count the Big Show, Jericho, and Undertaker, but that's not the kind of big men that we're talking about. We're talking like Spike Masters and Sean O'Connor being in the same match.
Yeah, like ridiculous weight size in matches. And height.
Exactly. Like Great Khali and Big Show sharing the ring together.
Very true.
It looks like Dwayne Young's dominating the NXW World Champion here.
Not for long. Bruce Kendrick with an arm drag. And a snap German suplex. Looks like a Neo Extreme suplex.
Sure, I do German suplexes. Is it do I do Germans or do I do Tiger or Dragons?
I think you do all three.
Probably. Wouldn't put it past me. Oh my god. Have you seen the new knee from the corner animation? Yeah, it's like the move I want to give to Tyson Steele. Just fucking bang! But one of these two men have the biggest opportunity in NXW to go to Chaos Mania to defend that NXW World Championship. You got to think there's got to be positive thoughts and negative thoughts going into that match.
Because if you win, you're the champion.
You're representing the brand. But if you lose,
you still got another opportunity, though.
Sure.
But if you win, then you have that opportunity of losing that belt. But if you lose right here, you have that opportunity of, well, even if I lose, I still have the same thing I came in with. And that's nothing.
Exactly. I mean, you got to think the winner here is building momentum. But in a fatal four-way, you know momentum doesn't really count for much. Because anyone in a fatal four-way can catch you and take you out of that match instantly.
That is so true. Wise words.
And not to mention, imagine
and
fatal four-way
the nightlight.
Imagine when we get to get our hands on fatal four-way tag team matches.
And triple threat.
And
oh my God.
5-man matches. The
oh my
new
Lord.
elements that we can bring to NCW and NXW. And Dwayne Young nearly winning his first championship here in NCW or NXW.
Ooh, and a missile drop kick. But you gotta think about it. Dwayne Young is still a history maker because he is the first man to win the NXW briefcase and he is the first man to cash one in. So, history is made.
Will he cash it in successfully is the question.
I don't know.
We're about to find out.
Well, we've been finding out. I don't know who's... I mean, this is a very stalemate. Oh, bam! And a perfect, well, what we used to call the Dizzler, and now I like to call it the execution.
Bam!
1,
Wait, is that
2.
his finishing move?
No, that's his signature.
Nah, fair point.
Stomp to the back.
I mean, you've been on both sides of a title defense. You've been champion. You've been challenged, though.
Yeah.
So what is the difference?
Well,
Did being the challenger make you hungrier, or does the champion make you more determined to keep that title?
I mean, it's kind of 50-50 because if you're the challenger, you come in and you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. But if you're the champion, you have everything to lose. So, as a champion, you're on the defensive. And as the challenger, you're on the offense.
Exactly right. As the challenger, you've got more to prove than the champion does himself. But then again, you flip that side of the coin. You, as champion, you've got to prove yourself more than the challenger. Like,
Very
you're
true.
basically saying, hey, I'm top of the world, I'm top of the brand. You want this, you got to prove yourself. But then again, the champions, I'm at the top of the brand, I've got to prove myself to remain champion.
Very true. And there's the second nightlight, and it busted Bruce Kendrick open. Oh my God, and he kicked out.
Whoop, bam! Blood in the water, the end is near. 1, 2. But that is why Bruce Kendrick is the NXW World Champion. He didn't just go to Warzone to you know, be there for the paycheck. He walked in and walked out as the NXW Champion.
In a brutal, bloody match where he ended up having to knock James Falcon out. Inside of the death cage.
Knock out the bird. Interesting choice. Champion taking it outside the ring on my screen.
Yep, and it's Falls Count Anywheres.
Well, that's right. That's the environment that you NXW hillbillies do.
I don't know, I feel like it adds more of an effect because then it ends up going into the crowd and everything. Oh my
Yeah, but I
God.
like my... Oh no.
Off the Kendrick's
Weapon
power
X on the
driver.
outside.
No, that wasn't even the Weapon X, that was the Kendrick's power driver. He didn't even hit the Weapon X one time in this match.
Well, looks like Bruce Kendrick is going to Chaos Mania with that NXW Championship on the line. He is holding the entire brand on his shoulder, but do you think Dwayne Young can get redemption in that match?
Maybe
and on the
so.
grandest stage of them all, where his father is challenging for the NCW Undisputed Championship, can Dwayne Young become NXW champion in his second attempt?
I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe it's the night of youth.
Standing at the end of Chaos Mania with the titles. Or they can both suffer a bit of disappointment.
Or that'd only be one of us, because we know the other one missed it. More than likely coming out champion.
So Dwayne Young. Lauren Young comes back to the women's title, makes it triple threat.
Oh my god, that'd be the funniest.
Gold. What?
That'd be the funniest shit ever. But that has been it for episode 10, and we're gonna stay on the live stream and go.
Episode 4. I don't know who was the guest here because I was talking about Chaos Mania and you were talking about Chaos Mania.
Yeah, but we're gonna set up the next show and we're gonna do it right here because we have nothing better to do.
Question is, should we make it episode 11 or not? 10 and 11. Ooh, double.
Yeah. But like, oh, just Chaos Mania 2 seems so much bigger than Chaos Mania 1.
Oh yeah. You got to think about the matches. I mean, how did we kick off NCW Chaos Mania last year? We had a 6-man tag team match.
Oh shit.